Are emails a big important part of your company? Are you worried about phishing attacks, malware, misuse, bad email setup? Well, DMARC Report has a solution for you. This way, you and your team have a way to constantly monitor your email setups. Well, let me show you what I'm talking about on my desktop right now. This is DMARC Report website, and if you guys want to grab a deal that's going on right now, that link will be in the description. Let me jump over to the dashboard to show you how easy it actually is to use. Now, the first step that I want to go through is not go through the dashboard. I actually want to show you how easy it is to add a domain, because this is where you're going to get started. And to do that, we're going to head on over to this green button on the top that says Domains. This is where we're going to have a clear view of all the domains that we have added and if they are set up correctly. Now, let's go into add a domain, and we're going to add a domain that we're going to work with. Now, heads up, you do need access to your domain's DNS. So that means that you have to be the owner of that domain, and you just can't add any domain that you want. So in this case, I'm going to use Cloudflare for the DNS setup, but you can use cPanel with DNS Zone. You can use, for example, Namecheap in their DNS settings, or whatever domain provider that you are using. In this case, Cloudflare. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to work with this domain, which I am testing with, and we're going to add that one, right? And we're going to say, yes, we want aggregated reports, we want failure reports, and we want MTA STS reports. So let's go into next, and it's going to provide us our first setup for DNS. So in this case, we need to add a Txt file to our DNS settings, and this is going to be the first part. So let's copy this section. Let's go back into our DNS, and let's search for Txt. Let's go ahead and add it. Let's add the domain there, and this setup right here, which is the DMARC, okay? Let's add it in the context section. Let's go ahead and save it. Now that it's saved, let's go into the next step. So let's go, I've published the above DMARC. Let's go next. And the privacy policy for this particular domain and the emails, it's in testing default or enforced. Let's keep it in testing. Detect mail records separate by commas. Yes, keep it as it is. And the policy age, we're going to keep it at 1 day. Let's go into next. And this is the next setup that we need. In this case, we need to add a Cname record. Let's copy this first part and add a Cname on our Cloudflare. The name for this will be that one. The Cname record value will be this one. And for this, we'll turn off the proxy. Okay, next record is a TXT. Okay, so again, add a new record, use TXT, name, the value for this, save. The last one, okay, let's go ahead and copy this one. It's a TXT record. Again, let's go here, TXT. Select it, the value, there we go. Content, save. There we go, we added those. Yes, I've published the above. Let's go to next. These have been added, but you're going to see that the domain status is currently not active. Why is that? Okay, we've added it right here. That means that we have to start using our email to get the information it needs. So it starts reading that information and it turns into an active mode, and we can start viewing those reports. Now, just like that, we added a domain. We're ready to go. Let's go ahead and start using our emails and start working with them. Now, let's go into one of our setup emails. These are my testing emails. I haven't added my real emails because I need to make this video so I can go ahead and add them for security reasons. Okay, so this is a quick overview of this domain. Okay, it's already set up. And we can see the policy is none for risk reports, percentage, latest reports. The DKIM is relaxed, SPF alignment is relaxed, forensic option 1, and subdomain policy. For in this case, we don't have any abuse, auth failure, frauds, or spam. So we're able to view all that information once we start gathering data. Okay, so once people start using the email, well, you and your company, but if someone wants to use it externally to you, we're going to be able to view that information. We can go ahead and view the summary for this one. And in this case, I'll show the DMARC policy. You can see the policy that we have, quick view. In this case, I've added the SPF record because it was missing. And that was something I wasn't aware until I added this. I'll show you my other domain that it did grab the SPF. We have the DKIM records right here. And we can see the information for this. DMARC compliant, DMARC non-compliant, rejected, total emails reported, and quarantine. So we're able to view that information at a glance. Let me show you my other domain, which is this one right here. Let me go into the summary. For the SPF records, we're able to view the actual IPs that's been used on this email. So you can see this domain and it includes, and we have these IPs. Now we're able to view which IP has been sending out emails. In this case, I haven't sent out any, but we're able to see here if it was 1, 100, 1,000, or thousands of emails for which IP it's being used. And if it's misused, we're also going to view that IP. And in case that IP that is targeted as misuse, that means it's haven't been added to the SPF records and we have to add it. So all that information is important to have really great setup on your emails, either to set up correctly or to find out if someone is misusing that email. So that's a quick overview of the records have been added. Let's go back into summary. And we're going to be able to view, for example, DMARC, SPF, and DKIM. We can add reports right here. Quick overview. We're going to be compliance. How many of these? The geo compliance for those. We can go into the timeline for this. We're going to have a clear view of the timeline of what's been going on in a really clear way. This is just a quick overview to view them as a timeline, so you have a way to view it in an easy manner, okay? So DMARC reported was updated, SPF record recorded updated, DMARC, every time that an email DMARC report is triggered when start sending one to another, we're able to view it here in this timeline. We can go ahead and click on the plus button and see what's going on for that specific trigger for this timeline. We also have the reports, for example, for the dashboard. In this case, the aggregated reports, the listings for this. For example, there's a whole bunch of filters for this that we can use. And this helps us view in a clear way what we need. If we want to view for a specific IP, the PTR, the country, the verdict, the DKIM alignment, and all of those, and we can go ahead and search. In this case, I've kept it open. But let me check the other domain if we have information. This SPF is going to record, listings. And for this one, for example, reviewing 2 non-compliant here, web hosting. What's going on? For example, this is the IP, PTR, the country from that, the volume. So it's just triggered by one email and one email. And we're able to view what's going on, okay? What's failing, what's not correct, do we need to set up something? And in this case, SPF auth, none, DKIM auth, none, SPF alignment. So this is a really bad setup. For obvious reasons, this is how it's going to view because I just added this domain for testing purposes. This is not my real email and this is not the thing that I'm using constantly. But from here, we view a clear way of this and we have all these filters available to view what we actually want because trust me, when you start sending out hundreds and thousands of emails, you're going to have a lot of data right here that we're going to view. And we're going to be really using these filters to find out what we actually want to view only. There's also the upload raw reports. So that means that if you have reports from external sources or that you've been keeping, well, we can upload them here so we can view them, all right? Just in case you've kept reports before or something, then we add them here. And again, we can bulk upload reports also. The forensic reports, the MTA and STS reports are also available as dashboard and listings. So the dashboard is a quick view and the listing is this way where we actually view everything and we have filters to view it. There's also the tools section. So let's just say I was using this and I remember, hey, you know what? I didn't add the SPF. Well, I can use the SPF generator and generate what I want. So I have these records, the MX, the A, the IPs that I'm using for the SPF. So for example, if you have several sources where you're sending out emails, you add them here and then you add the include, subdomain policy, fail, sort, or neutral, and it'll generate the report. In this case, I won't add any. Oh, just soft fail, for example. Generated and, whoa, sorry, clicked back. Okay, here it is. This is the TXT that I need to create for the SPF. So this helped me out. And this tool will help you out for the DMARC, DKIM, SPF, BMEM, and TA, all right? So you have all these tools available. Next one is we have the alerts. Alerts are really useful, especially if you want to get alerted if something is going on. So for example, we can set a name for it for example, this domain, and we have 2 types, which is alert type, the metrics and the event. The metric type gives us this information. For example, alert when this happens. The email is reported, compliant or non-compliant. So if you want to be alerted when this happens, well, you're gonna get that alert. And it reaches 100, you set the number that you want, the time, and the units, okay? And if you wanna trigger it by event, well, we select event, and we have, for example, new domain, subdomain detected. So if you have added subdomains, you're gonna get alerted every time. So in case I wanna create this one, we'll just say test, submit, and I'm gonna be alerted for this particular domain when a subdomain is added. We can go ahead and edit it, or we can go ahead and delete it. Next we have is teams. So teams is really important. If we want to create a team, we can assign them, we'll say the best team. Nah, too corny. Let's say dev team. Okay, so it'll be the dev team. Let's create it. For developer, we'll assign domains to it. So that means that they're not gonna be working with every single domain. We can set them to this one, okay? Let's go ahead and submit it. All right, we can add more domains to it, but we'll keep it simple. One, who are going to be the team members? We can add the members right here. So for example, we'll add the email address, test@test.com, and what are the options that they're going to have. So for example, they read domains, that's by default. Can they edit domains? Can they add users or remove users? So I'll just go ahead and submit it. And that was just for testing purposes, obviously. And we go ahead and edit it, add members, or go back. So we can tie these to a specific domain so they take care of those domains. The next one is we have widgets. Let's go ahead and add a new widget. We can add widgets for, we'll keep it that domain. Choose the time window, for example, last 7 days. The widget name will be test. And what is this widget going to display for us? For example, we'll say abuse, auth failure, fraud, not spam. All right, let's choose those ones. And now we have created that widget. Now what can we do with it? Let's go ahead and view it. This is our widget, and we can embed this widget on our site. So let's just say that you are using a CRM like ClickUp, and on ClickUp you have options to embed. So on ClickUp you can view an overview of that specific domain of what's going on without having to log into DMARC reports. Or you can embed this on your site, on a specific site where you're able to view it without having to jump into here. So you have a clear view of all your domains, for example, with these widgets. And these are the widget details for this specific one. So they're pretty useful if you want to have a clear view somewhere else outside of DMARC reports. Super useful. Other things that we can do with DMARC reports, aside from all that information that we have, is we can white label this. So let's go into profile. Now this will depend on the plan that you're on. So for example, the name that I'm using, the time zone, the white labeling options. So in my case, I've already added my domain right here, which is dmarc@vmmedia.com, the business title, and I removed the logo because I wanted to show you how DMARC actually looks like. But I can add my logo right here, because when my team members are going to jump in, they're not going to be able to view DMARC. They're going to view my domain, and they're going to view, hit it at, okay, update. It's updated the email there, plus it's using my DMARC domain. So let's go into incognito mode. Let's go ahead and test it. So I'm using my custom domain, my link, and it's using my logo, and they can sign in here. So the team members that I have assigned don't actually see that we're using DMARC. So it's pretty useful that we have that on white label. 2auth authentication, verify phone number, change password, and cancel the account in case you want to delete it. We have all those available there. Let's go into summary back again. No, to the main page. So you can see now we have our own logo there. We have a clear view of the domains available there. But that is DMARC reports. It's a really intense information complex right here, SaaS, where you can see everything. Now, this might be for everyone. For example, some of these things I don't understand, but some I do. But it's alerting me that something is going on, so I can have a developer actually fix the problem or analyze what's going on. Once I start sending out my email campaigns, see why most are landing on spam, well, I gotta check out if everything is set up correctly, and I'm gonna be able to view it here. Or if someone is using malware, phishing attacks, misuse, I'm gonna have a clear view of what's going on right here. Something that I'm not gonna be able to view if I'm using a cPanel or something else. DMARC is made specially for this. So DMARC report is a great deal if emails are as important as any aspect of your business. Well, there you go. If you guys want to grab the deals going on right now, that link will be in the description. I thank y'all for watching. My name is George, and this is SaaS Master. I'll see you guys later.